Hi, this is Gal from One Code Camp, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we will talk about template literal. If you want to know more about what I just said, you might want to stick around.
Another feature that ES6 offers is template literals. The introduction of template literals addressed some limitations of traditional string concatenation. By the way, let me mention that we'll be using Google Apps Script for our coding. You can access the code editor at script.google.com. And in our setup, there's a main function that serves as the starting point for our code. Inside this main function, we will call on the functions that we will create to make everything work seamlessly. So, working with strings is a big deal in programming, and it plays a significant role in a variety of applications and scenarios. Not to mention that string manipulation is often used to format output for display, and logging is a common practice for recording events, errors, or important information in applications. String manipulation is used to format log messages, making them more readable and easily understandable for debugging and analysis. So, before ES6, developers typically used either single quotes or double quotation marks to define strings, and concatenation was done using the plus operator. Let's say, for example, let's create a function called oldString right there. And in its function body, we have a constant variable name, and it stores a string value of world. Then we have another constant variable, we will call it greeting, that concatenates the string hello with a comma and then the value of the variable name. Concatenation, by the way, is the process of combining two or more strings into one string and is often performed using the plus operator, just what we did. Let's try to display the value of greeting by using console.log and making it as its argument. Let's call the oldString function in our main function by doing so, and let's hit on run. And as we can see here, it displays the string value of the variable greeting. But because of template literals, we don't need to do this anymore, as we can just embed variables directly in the string, making the code more readable and more concise. So how do we do it? But first, let's create another function and let's hide this old string function. Let's name our new function new string right there. And within the function body, let's create a constant variable which contains the string value John Doe right there. We can also add another constant variable that holds the age of John Doe, say he is 32 years old. Then let's create another constant variable. Let's name it introduction. There we go. And in this variable is where we will use the template literal. And instead of using single quote or double quotation marks to define our string, what we will use is a pair of backticks. Usually we can use or we can access the backticks below the escape button in our keyboard. Together with it is the tilde, the key before number 1. For the information of all, backticks are a specific type of delimiter. When we say delimiter, it is just a character or sequence of characters used to specify the boundaries between separate elements. Other examples for delimiters in JavaScript are semicolon. It is used to separate statements. In our old string function, let's open that up. The plus sign right here, these two plus signs that combines the string and the variable, they are also delimiters. And anyways, let's hide this again. Let's type in here inside our backticks, my name is. Then, for us to embed the variables, what we will do is to type in $sign and a pair of curly braces. And inside the curly braces is the variable name. Right there. The $sign and the curly braces act as a placeholder that gets replaced with the actual value of the name variable when the string is evaluated. This makes it easier to concatenate variables and strings, eliminating the need for explicit concatenation using the plus operator and providing a more natural and readable way to construct strings. Then let's complete our introduction by adding a new sentence that says, I am, and then the age, years old. There we go. This is template literal in its most basic syntax. So what we will do next is to log it in our console by making introduction as its variable of the console.log function. Now let's try to call our new string function. Let's replace this one. Now let's hit run. And as we can see here, it displays the string values of the variables name and age, which is John Doe and 32 respectively. So that is one of the features of template literal, embedding variables and expressions, which is called string interpolation. Another benefit of using backticks or template literal is a capability of doing multi-line strings. To demonstrate this, in our introduction variable, we can give this sentence, I am 32 years old, a new line by hitting on enter. Then let's create another line that says, glad to meet all of you. Make sure that it is still inside the backticks. Then let's hit run and see what will happen in our execution log. And as we can see here, it displays the 3 sentences, each having their own lines. We can't really do it in the traditional way. Say here, if we will hit on enter and give Doe its individual line, it will give us an error. It will show a squiggly line. Another use case of template literal is to evaluate variables, usually done where our variable's data type is a number, either integer or float. So when we say float, it is just numbers with decimals. I deleted the previous functions here just so we can avoid too much visual noise. But if you want to rewatch something, you can just backtrack the video. Anyways, say we have this new function, var underscore eval equal parentheses, and then our fat arrow, oops, right there, and our curly braces. So let's just correct this one. That would be const. And within the function, we will have 2 variables. We have the variable apple price that has the value of 5. And we will also have the variable orange price that has a value of 3.25. So this is like saying each apple costs $5 and an orange costs $3.25. Then let's create our string, more like a very, very short story of how Anna's day went in the market. So let's type in here console.log. And then let's not forget our backticks, because we will be using again template literal. Then let's start our story. Anna went to the market to buy fruits. She paid $, and then another $, for our variable string interpolation. And then let's say 10 times apple price. Okay, for 10 apples. And another $, and another $, 7 times orange price for 7 oranges. All in all, she spent $, and another $, for our string interpolation and our curly braces. Then let's group the expressions using parentheses. So we will have the price of 10 apples and the price of 7 oranges. Right there. So what we can do is just to copy this one, this expression, and paste it in this parentheses. And then this one as well. paste this to the second pair of parentheses. So this expression, this calculates the price of 10 apples, while this, and you guessed right, this calculates the price of 7 oranges. And then this evaluation, this expression, this calculates the total price of 10 apples and 7 oranges. So let's call var eval function in our main function, just like that, and let's hit run. And as we can see here, we can already read our story. Anna went to the market to buy fruits. She paid $50 for 10 apples and $22.75 for 7 oranges. All in all, she spent $72.75. So yeah, again, what we just did is expression evaluation using template literal. But so let's correct our grammar here. This would be spent. Great. Now, we can actually also call a function using template literal. Let's reuse our var eval function, but in the main function, let's delete this function call first. And let's type in console.log and the backticks inside the parentheses. And in the backticks, let's type in, I have a story to tell, and this happened yesterday. Okay, pretty simple. Then, after our period here, after the last sentence, let's call our var eval function. So how we call the function is just similar on how we do this one. So we type in the $, curly braces, and then let's call the function. And let's not forget the parentheses. Okay, let's try hitting run. Ooh, sorry. I think we have an error. As we can see here, this isn't the result that we wanted. The narration is all over the place. Because the reason why, when we want to call a function using template literal, we have to make sure that the function that we want to call should return something. So what we need to do is, in our var eval function, instead of using console.log here, let's use return. Because we have to again return this string message. Let's just replace again that console.log. What we just did is replacing console.log with the return keyword. Then let's try running this code again. And now, as we can see, this is the result that we wanted. I have a story to tell, and this happened yesterday. This is here. And Anna went to the market until the very last number is our function call. So actually, that is it for template literals. I do hope you've learned something today, and see you guys in our next video.